Hi, welcome to my channel, Creative Me. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make one of these really cute little gnomes. It's super easy and I can't wait. These are my favorite. I love gnomes. I have a whole gnome tree and I can't wait to add to my little gnome collection. Come along and we'll get it done. All right, let's take a look at our materials. For the inside, we will use a baggie and some rice, and it'll depend on how big your gnome is going to be, whether or not you'll need more or less rice. I'm starting off with just a cup of rice. I'm gonna fill up my bag, and then we're going to use a white sock for our base. It could be a used sock, it really doesn't matter because you're not really gonna see the white sock except for the little nose, so it doesn't really matter what condition your white sock is in. I do have a decorative sock here that I'm going to be putting over the white sock so it'll look nice. I got this sock at the dollar store, or no, at the Target's dollar spot. You're going to need some fuzzy material for your gnome's beard. I've gotten several different kinds. Some I got from Hobby Lobby, some I got from Michael's. Oh, I think I got this one from Walmart, but they all ranged around $3.50. Of course, if you go to one of your craft stores, you may get a 50% off coupon for this. You can also use ribbon that you find that may be fuzzy. I found a few different ones like that as well. This beautiful brown, dark brown one. Whatever your fancy is, you can find that. I also did find a stocking here that has fuzz on it. Now this was only $1.99. I'm pretty sure I got it at the 99-cent store. It has a nice fabric you could use for the body if you wanted to bunch it around, and it has this fuzz at the top that you could use for your beard. So if you wanted to deconstruct something like this, you could use it for that as well. And then I found this at the dollar store. This is a little scarf and has these cute little bells and balls at the ends, and I'll use this for the hat. So this will make two little hats. And if you can't find that for a hat, you can also use a fuzzy pair of socks. This I found at the dollar store as well, that you could just cut off and make your own little hat with this. So you'll need some scissors, you'll need a hot glue gun, so don't forget to get that plugged in. For your little nose, you'll need a tiny little rubber band, so scrounge one out of your junk drawer or something. And then I always like to brush on a little blush for the nose to kind of give it a little pink tone to it. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so I'm first going to start with my bag, and I'm going to just put a little bit of the rice in my bag. Now you can use a Ziploc bag, it doesn't really matter. The only reason I use a bag in this project is because if it were to get wet, then the rice could get moldy. Say your dog got a hold of it or something. And also rice can absorb odors. If it were sitting in the garage for a while in a container or storage in a dank closet somewhere, I don't want it to absorb any odor from anything. So just for safety, I fill it with a bag. Okay, so I put that bag inside my white sock, and I'm going to fill it all the way with my first cup of rice. Now, depending on what size sock you use, you could use a baby sock. I mean, you can make these little gnomes big, small, it doesn't really matter. But I did notice the more you scrunch down your sock, the more rice you're gonna need. Now, I still want my sock to be malleable, and by that I mean I want it to squish and stay squishy, because if it's too tight in there, it might not sit on the table right, or it might not mold the way you specifically want it to sit when you're placing it in your surface. So just fill your rice up as much rice as you want for how big or tall you want your gnome to be. I want mine a little bit bigger than this, so I will add a little bit more rice. Now I got this rice from the dollar store, from Walmart. You can get rice even at the Dollar Tree. So it's fairly inexpensive and you can find it anywhere. I think I'm just going to use maybe about another half a cup. Let's see. Shake it on down in there. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Pull your sock down a little bit so you can tie your knot in your bag, or Ziploc it closed if you're using a Ziploc. Again, kind of make it the consistency you want it. If it's moldable, then you can push it around. If it's too hard, then you're not really going to be able to push it around as much. So whatever your preference is, really. All right, now that that's tied off, and it doesn't have to look pretty, no one's going to see it, cut that extra part off there and shake down your bag. Now, I've seen a lot of people cut the extra part of their sock off. I'm not going to do that with this gnome. I find having a little bit more filling like this in the hat will help keep the hat stay up a little bit before it falls over to the side. So I'm just going to keep it like that. But when I do create my gnome's nose, I'm going to want to put that up toward the top of where my rice is. So how to form the nose is you pinch with the rice still in the little pinch that you made, however big of a nose that you want. So if you want a big old honking nose, you grab a whole lot of that stuff. Now you can use whatever rubber band that you have. I found a couple of different rubber bands. You can use little hair bands. You could use thicker rubber bands. The only difference is you'll have to wrap it around a few times. Doesn't really matter what color it is either. All of that's going to be hidden with your next sock. All right, nice big nose on my gnome. Okay, now take your decorative sock. I really like this one because it's going to kind of look like he's wearing little pants and a little shirt. So let's fit that on there. Cover up that nose. Now you can make your sock go whichever direction you want. See how I have the nose here? If my sock's heel is going this direction, then I can tell that his hat is going to flop right into his face, and I really don't want that. So I'm going to turn this around so that the heel of the sock goes to the side, so like his nose will be like around this direction. It also helps that if you put your white sock in a certain direction, you'll want to face that same direction with your decorative sock. Then you know for sure your hat is going to point in the direction you want it to point. Off to the side. Now I've seen a lot of people cut their socks off just under the nose and then glue that piece over, and that just seems like a little too much work for me. What I've decided to do is I'm just going to pinch the very tip of the nose, just make sure that I'm only getting the decorative sock, and I'm just going to cut the smallest little bit off. That way I can push that nose through the hole and around, and no one's the wiser. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my little hat that I got from the dollar store. It's the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to kind of figure out how big I want the hat. Now the hat is going to start right at the top of the nose. You're going to want that hat to cover the nose just a tiny bit. So if you want a really long hat to go all the way down, then you'll want it longer. If you want it shorter, just to dangle just a little, then you'll want it shorter than that. So I'm going to cut right here. That's how short I want it. right. Now this is going to leave some extra fuzz. Whenever you're cutting anything with fuzz, it leaves a mess. So pull off that extra fuzz. Now I'm going to turn just the edge of this inside out, and then I'm going to glue it to itself to give me a nice finished edge for when I put his hat on him. So get your hot glue gun out. And glue yourself a little line and fold that over. There, now we have a finished edge that's not going to leave its fuzz all over everything else, and we can fit it over our gnome. Now, where you have your gnome's, the heel of your gnome's sock on the outside, you want to make sure that if you're putting a hat on like this, the stitching should be on the back side so that you don't see that stitching anywhere near the front area. So I'm going to turn this guy over and fit his little hat on him. There we go. Now I'm going to hold off on gluing his little hat on him because I want to cut his beard out, and I'm going to want to tuck that beard underneath where the little hat is. So I want to make sure to keep that open there. So let's get on to our beard material. I really love this white material that I got from Walmart. It was only $3.50, and I've already made one out of it. You can see that I just took a Sharpie. I made a line. You can kind of match up your gnome to it if you want his gnome to be, you know, full length like I do. Then you could just match it up, make a little line for where the nose will be, or from under the nose, and then make a nice round area. Now I like to use this extra scraggly littleness at the end of my my fabric here, or my fuzzy fabric, because then his little beard will have this little hairy line at the end of it. So and then you'll fray it out, make it look a little more natural on the edges. Okay. Right, now you get your gnome, and you kind of see where you want that beard to lie. And then what you're going to want to do is cut a slit down at this point so that it'll go around the nose. Fit it on, and if you find you need to go a little bit higher, you can cut it a little bit more. But I really like the way this looks. Now before I actually glue the beard on, I'm going to take a little bit of my blush, and I'm going to brush the nose to give it kind of a little pink hue. All right, let's see how that looks. Doesn't that look cute? A little pink nose. All right, so we're gonna pull our hat back just a little. Now, I noticed that if you glue your beard down like this, it's just gonna kind of puff out from the edge a little like that. But if you want it to lay flat, you kind of have to pull at it upward toward where, you know, his eyes might be. And as you do that, then put your dab of glue right up at the top. And the same goes for this side. You want to make sure to pull it up as you glue it on. now you're gonna pull your hat up. You can always squeeze the rest of that rice down a little so that you have a little bit more space to pull your hat down. Make it a little easier for you to glue, because when you glue the front part, you're gonna want enough space to glue the little hat over the nose. So but given that, I still want to start in the back so that I can make sure that it's held down in the back a little bit better. So let's glue the back first. Now before you go around and do the other side, make sure that this back side is dry and set so that it doesn't pull off when you pull down the front. Sides a little bit of glue. Right. And now we'll do above our little nose. There we go. And again, hold it in place. Make sure it doesn't get away from you. Stinking cute. I love his little beard, his little pants, his little shirt. So cute. I even think I might do a little bit more blush on that nose, let it stand out just a little bit more. Now at this point, he's looking pretty cute, but I do want to add a little something to his hat. So I found a couple of little extra pieces of picks that I had from Walmart or from Michael's, and I'm going to use some of this greenery and a few of these balls. All right, now isn't he cute? I love the way his beard flares down toward the middle. It's super cute. His hat flops over. He's just so adorable. I'm gonna make a few more of these, and using kind of a couple of different materials for hats, and you can kind of see a better variety of the kinds of gnomes you can create with still the same basic body. I hope you enjoyed making these wonderful gnomes with me. I've made quite a few. I cannot get enough of them. They were so simple and easy to make. The materials didn't cost a whole lot of money, and it was just one of those really fun crafts that I'm gonna do time and time again and make little gifts out of these for my friends and family. Anywho, why don't you click that like button and subscribe down below so that you don't miss any of my videos, and leave a comment if you have any suggestions for me on what kind of content you want to see from me or what kinds of crafts you would like to try. Anyway, I'll check you next time. Be creative.